Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Bricks Gentleman, and today we come to the fifth update of the MOC40 from Precomime. So if you want to see the latest date, you have to have a look at the channel of Precomime and subscribe to his movies. But we will have a look at some combined updates and in a little speed up way. So here we have the first floor of the base plate number 3, I think. Should be the number 3. And here we see the building up of the wall and its round shape. It will be very interesting. That's something I can promise you. A very interesting shape and very unique. And we will have some minifigures of this Iron Man later on. Not in this update, maybe in the next or the update afterwards. I don't know exactly right now. But here we start constructing he starts, not I. I'm just commenting on that. So he's building up the wall and the outer shape and trying to fill all the gaps because having that round shape is a little bit complicated. But it will look good in the end. You see, it already looks very interesting. So a lot of detail work and a lot of filling up gaps, and here some test fitting to see how it looks on the module later, and some support structure underneath, so it looks a little bit more realistic and it's a little stronger as well. It has some purpose. And a lot of tiling. That's usual, but it looks much better if everything is tiled up and you don't see any studs anymore. And another layer of the wall and some small windows. And some gap filling here and there, and I'm not sure if you will see the difference later on of the filled gaps, but it's nice to know that it's all done very well. It's just maybe for you, the viewer, to have a nice picture during the build. Now he's trying to combine the floor with the stairs and also a little gap filling in between the rails, so it looks consistent. And yeah, he combines the stair with the wall, so it's a little bit more stable. And here you see the first detail that's added, the robot that suits up that Iron Man, or however you want to call that character or that person in that creation. Maybe it's this other person. It's free to your imagination. Yeah, you can write some suggestions in the comments. But I think till now we don't have any minifigures, so that's a huge spoiler. A little bit more details. So here you see the first chair and some desk. Now he's trying to figure out where to position it. And of course he needs some studs to place the details. Otherwise we would just float around. And it looks good with that details, and slowly the build comes to life. And here he prepares the next floor with some added stairs and a little bit more windows and a little bit more details. But I think we will see that in the next update, that the minifigures will be placed, so subscribe to the channel, of course, and you will see that next week, or maybe the week after. I'm not that sure. Till now I didn't prepare that video, so we will figure out together. And a little bit more details with the golden hand of some mech, I think, or some mechanical thing. Was from another Lego set, so just a piece of that. At least if I remember correct. It's a nice little detail. And now we have the next layer. Of course, we need some kind of walkway to that layer, because later on in every window there will be some minifigure, or not a minifigure, it's more a suit or piece of armor. Not a lot of detail working on, or a lot of working on the modules. That's a little bit boring, but necessary. So not much to comment on it. But it's way faster than in the original, so we will be soon at some more interesting stuff. And here you have the next layer, or the next rail, so it already looks very good with all the rails, and it looks more realistic, or more interesting. And of course we will have tiles there as well, so but that's one of the next steps. So first place the rails and figure out where to put them, and later on adding the tiles and adding details on a little bit of work on the wall. And the one gap you see, that's just the gap where the platform needs to go in. And the next level is nearly finished. And now the connection between the round shape and the normal walls. And we will see the roof in the next step. And that will be a very interesting shape as well. Here you see the first idea of the roof. It's a part of an Iron Man set, but that will be heavily modified. It's just the basic idea that is taken from that shape of the wall in that part and in that set, and transferred into a roof later on. So you have a very interesting shape of that building. And here he is placing some details. First off, trying to figure out where to place them, and later on removing all the tiles again, just to get some stats and putting the details. Now it looks even more interesting, and a little bit more details on the base layer as well. Now you see the original part of that sets, and yeah, that will be quite heavy modified, and you only have the round shape that will stay. And we will see how it will look in the end of that update. And of course, more tiling. Now some blades for the roof. And it will be black. So it's a little bit complicated to fill in that gaps, and because it's a very complex shape. It takes little bit of time. But now you should get the idea how the roof will look like. Now it's all a matter of filling in all the gaps and putting in some details to make it look interesting. A lot of gap filling. So that's not that interesting, but it will look good in the end, so it's worth the effort. Here you see the interior. And I promise you it will look very good with all the minifigures and all the details. And here we have a very fast overview over all the base plates so far. Or at least the base plates on the table. And here it's some door on the base plate number 1. On the first floor of that. Just some small change. That was not worth a complete video for that alone. Now a little bit detail work on the roof and finishing up some corners and making it look smooth. That's a little bit of effort as well. And here we have some details, or some air conditioning, or some venting, or some cooling. I don't know what exactly, but it looks good with the pipes and with the fans and all that stuff. And some satellite dish, maybe for communication or whatever you can imagine. And somehow that needs some pipes. Maybe that's a cooling for the satellite, or that's some control for that. I don't know exactly. Maybe that's some modern future technology, and we are even not able to explain that at the moment. So you're free to imagine whatever you want with that. And of course, we need some access to the roof as well. That's why we have to build in some small doors, or so some people, some service people can access the satellite. I know, of course, we need some walkway, and it will make the roof look more interesting. Now he's playing around with a little bit of antenna and all this. Oh, some details. You see, it looks way more interesting. But with the roof, I think he wanted to save some tiles, or he was running out of tiles at that time, and just leave the studs open. And a little bit more details on the base, and a little bit of plants, and a little bit of green here and there, and some round studs, and also some random pieces to make it look more interesting. That's a massive building. Still very empty inside. And here we go to the 4th base plate. And of course we have some rock work. That's, you know that maybe from the previous updates. And if you don't know, you can watch them as well. Just to support all that work and to make this creation grow further. But it's worth the effort. Looks really good with all the details on the rock and all the small details. And you will have some details on the back as well. You will never see them, or it's hard to see them because the creation is against the walls. But it's good for you, the viewer, to have that. And it's interesting to build some little details, even if you don't see them anymore. And if you already want to see how that will look, you can always have a look at the channel of Bricomime. He's a few weeks ahead till now, so you can already see how this baseplate will end. Or at least for now. Because that's the interesting thing with these bricks. You can always change and go back and forth and play around. So I think it's just the base for the next steps with that base plate. And we will have some more details in the next weeks. And it will look very interesting, the base plate number 4. But we will also have for the big apartment we saw in the beginning, or the big housing we saw in the beginning. But we'll come to the end now. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Have a lovely day and see you soon.